Well, this is what you actually said. People on stream should be able to hear this. I think you can hear it too, so I'll just play this.
Super passionate, a little bit pissed off right now. A couple of days ago, I posted a video about me experimenting with eggs. A very short experiment done in a way that I thought was worth it, but the video...
So, John, right there, you said the experiment... Oh, wait, I have to turn off screen share. So, John, right there, you said the experiment was worth it. So you're saying it's worth it to exploit animals?
I said the experiment was worth... I thought the experiment was worthwhile. That's what I
So you're
said.
saying it's worthwhile to
it's
exploit
right.
animals? Okay, hello everybody, looks like we're live, so I'm sure you've all been up to date on the Jon Venus egg situation. So basically what we're going to do here is go through the whole egg story with Jon. I think there's some more details that need to be fleshed out that Jon might not have shared on video, and then we're going to discuss the whole situation, whether or not he's vegan, whether or not what he did was appropriate, and maybe through some miracle we can come to some kind of understanding by the end of this.
I'm here with Jon Venus and my buddy Bobby from Bobby's Perspective. We're going to be talking about Egggate. We're going to be talking about... Oops, I got my speakers on there. We're going to be talking about Egggate. Jon Venus ate some eggs, allegedly. We're going to get to the bottom of this. What's up, everybody? What's up, John? How's it going, man?
Going well. How's it going with you guys?
It's going good, man. It's nice to have you here. It's been a while. I think it's like 6 or 8 months since you were here last, right?
Yeah, closing into a year, I think. Yeah, time flies.
So, in your video, John, it's my understanding that you wanted to try eating eggs because you were worried your son wasn't going to get enough nutrition?
That's a great question, and it's a good way to clarify things in a little bit more of a long format, because it's really hard to create a lot of context in a quick video. But so it was around a year ago where I decided to do this little experiment, something that, you know, I'm not proud of, something that I did out of curiosity for myself. At the time, I was at a lower point in my life in terms of not being able to do like lifting and working out and that kind of stuff, because I had a pretty, you know, severe, not severe, but it's like I had a herniated disc, and, you know, it's like I was out of the gym for a very long time, which has never happened before. I've never struggled with the injury before, so it was something that I was not used to. So I have to say that because of that, and also because I wanted to be responsible as a parent, to see if I, all of a sudden, no matter how much I believe in the vegan diet, no matter how much I am a supporter of the vegan diet, would I notice a improvement if I ate, you know, some backyard eggs from a local neighbor in Spain? So that was basically the experiment. It was actually Catherine watched the video yesterday, and she was like, "Why are you lying, John?" I was like, "What do you mean?" I was like, "You didn't eat 12 eggs." I was like, "What?" No, you bought 12 eggs, but apparently I only ate like, you know, 3 or 4. So it wasn't 12. Not that it matters anyway. But yeah, I didn't feel anything. Not that I was expecting to feel anything when it was such a short experiment anyway.
Yeah, so you wanted to try eating eggs to see if it made you feel better. And if it made you feel better, you were going to consider feeding eggs or perhaps other animal products to your son.
Well, I wouldn't feed him straight away. I would, you know, go and get it checked out, see what the reason for me feeling better was, you know, by going to do some blood work and that kind of stuff. I wouldn't just, you know, come to a conclusion and just, you know, quit being vegan or feed my kid, you know, eggs or animal products straight away. Obviously, it would be to go and investigate, basically. But as you know, nothing happened. I didn't feel any benefits. I felt the opposite. I didn't eat that many eggs, so it was kind of a bullshit experiment anyway. But yeah, that was basically the reason for it. And it's not something that I wasn't expecting to feel, you know, some crazy miracle or that kind of stuff. But at the same time, you know, I was, you know, struggling with an injury, you know, my back injury. And even though no matter how stupid it sounds, after you struggle with an injury that long, it got me to some dark places mentally. And for some reason, I thought it was a good idea to see if that would change the way that my physical, state felt. So my back, for example, even though, again, it doesn't make sense to expect that eating a couple eggs is going to make any difference anyway.
Okay, so this brings me to my first question.
Yep.
Your wife is a nutritionist. She's the one who writes all the nutrition plans for your online coaching business. What did she have to say about this?
To know, quote unquote, what kind of diet you would put your kid on.
Right, less than a dozen eggs, and this was going to be the experiment that would tell you what the optimal diet would be for a growing child with,
Exactly.
very,
I don't
very.
understand that.
Yeah. So how do those connect there? Leading up to it, it sounds like you had a lot of stress. Did you have a lot of distress about the whole situation? It sounds like there couldn't have been a more conflicting situation for you. It sounds like you were, at the edge of like psychological breakdown when this happened, right? And wouldn't that stress out your digestion? Wouldn't that? So you had, how many eggs did you eat? Less than a dozen, and it destroyed you.
Yeah.
You couldn't poop, and it was just so terrible. You felt so bad from less than a dozen eggs.
I mean, whether or not that means she's okay with it,
Well, I don't know how she could possibly force you not to do it. What I'm saying is, did she say, okay, we'll try it? Or did she say, no, I don't want you to do that, that's stupid? Okay, so your wife is a nutritionist, and your wife is an ethical vegan, and you decided to, where did you even get this idea from? Just random retards online?
No, I agree that I didn't do it the way that you're supposed to do it. But at the same time, what I always heard from a lot of people who I was personally close friends with and people from social media is that they felt so depleted, so bad on a vegan diet that when they ate, 3 eggs or 1 egg or whatever, they immediately felt it straight away. And this is not me, making shit up. There's a lot of people on the internet making videos saying the exact same thing. So that was the main thing that I was, wanting to kind of debunk in my own mind.
So you set out to prove to yourself that you didn't need eggs. And it was a successful experiment, right? You set out to prove to yourself that eggs weren't necessary, that you wouldn't feel good when you ate them, and you proved it to yourself.
Okay, you said you're against your own choice. Okay, so you just said you're against your own choice. That's the exact opposite of what you said in your video. You said, I think what I did was totally fine. I don't regret anything.
Well, I don't regret it because that was what I had to go through. I had to go through that to realize and to be, 100% confident. So it was worthwhile for me, but still, obviously,
was it worthwhile for the chickens?
No, of course not. I mean,
because
I think it's pretty obvious.
That's the issue I have here. So, do you think it is vegan to do this sort of thing?
At this video,
you want to show how many people got worse eating animal foods after leaving a vegan diet? How many people got worse? I haven't seen a single one of these. I haven't seen a single one of these. I'm trying to get corroboration on.
If it's a healthy vegan diet, I'd say 100%.
How many people did you talk to personally that said they were eating a carnivorous diet with no plant foods after veganism and they felt worse? How many?
Well, you two are the only carnivores I know of, so yeah, I'm not in touch with that many.
Okay, I thought you said something about somebody told you they were eating steak for a month and they felt way worse, so they had to go back to veganism. It just sounded like something that I haven't seen.
They didn't eat. No, of course not. I mean, it's not vegan to eat eggs, is it?
Okay, so in your video, you were basically saying that you don't regret it. You don't have any, that's not something you actually regret doing. You and your brother basically try to brush it off as it's not a big deal. Well, this is what you actually said. People on stream should be able to hear this. I think you can hear it too, so I'll just play this.
Super passionate, a little bit pissed off right now. A couple of days ago, I posted a video about me experimenting with eggs, a very short experiment done in a way that I thought was worth it, but the video...
So, John, right there, you said the experiment... Oh, wait, I have to turn off screen share. So, John, right there, you said the experiment was worth it. So you're saying it's worth it to exploit animals?
I said the experiment was worth. I thought the experiment was worthwhile. That's what
So you're
said.
saying
But
it's
doesn't mean that I
worthwhile
think
to
it's
exploit
right.
animals? Let's say in a alternate universe, your copy of you in an alternate universe did this exact same experiment, but it turned out that after you ate these eggs, you felt way better. You felt 10 times better. And you even got blood work done, your blood work improved. Let's say your cholesterol was lower, your markers of inflammation was lower, your, I don't know, vitamin and mineral status went up. What would you have done then?
Sure, but you can
I
say
mean,
the same that veganism is good.
That's cool. All right. I mean, at least you're consistent with it. If there's no truth, then how can veganism be true? If something, how do we determine if something is morally? Because you mentioned the ethical aspect. This always interests me, and I've never gotten a good answer from a vegan on this. How do we determine if something is morally and ethically right and wrong if there is no objective truth?
What would I have done? Well, I would have, explored that further by, realizing what is in the egg that maybe I might have been missing, and
let's say you could only get
from
it
a
from
plant
eggs.
source.
Let's say
If I could,
in this hypothetical universe, you could only have gotten this from eggs.
and I could only heal myself by eating eggs, you mean?
Yeah, sure.
What are you asking? If it's morally justified to eat eggs, if it's the only way to heal yourself?
Yeah, if like you're saying you have a back injury.
Yeah.
Let's say after eating eggs, your back injury cleared right up, and the only thing that would have cured it was eggs. Do you think it's morally justified to eat eggs?
Yes.
Okay, so I would say right then and there, you're not vegan. Veganism isn't about you. It's not about your own personal well-being. It's about reducing unnecessary suffering and death. Do you think it's absolutely necessary, John? No, John.
Do you think most vegans would agree that, you have to, like, in order to be vegan, it means that you should sacrifice your own health and your own well-being in order to be vegan. Obviously, that is not.
Okay,
luckily,
John.
it's not the case.
Okay, John,
but
listen.
In this
okay,
hypothetical world that you're talking about, obviously, you can't expect people to kill themselves before eating animals.
Okay, well, John, were you dying?
Well,
because it sounds like you only had a back injury.
I'm not. This is a hypothetical situation.
This is why they're able to fool so many people, is because in the West we've had belief in truth replaced. We've had belief in truth replaced with moral relativism and this basically nihilistic worldview that allows veganism to justify itself in such a kind of weird schizophrenic way. But we don't.
Disney worldview.
I don't consider any of these activists to be, masterminds of manipulation or anything like that. It's not like they're convincing people with the words that they're saying to go vegan. I mean, it's pretty common sense what they're saying, right? So people are making up their own minds.
What is common sense?
No, not really. They're confronting them. They're confronting them with slaughterhouse porn. This is pretty much what they do, and they have a certain narrative that they frame.